podcast Juice. My name is Michael Dean, and today we are joined by Mr. Aunt Pooh. Sir, how are you?
I am doing good.
All right. And joining us for the first time straight from the Discord chat, my man Morpheus. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, Brother Dean. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. So, you're a new voice on the show. Now, I know, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little muffled there, so we're going to try and sweeten that up as best we can. But today, I wanted to talk about the Sheila E interview that was on the Breakfast Club this past week. First, I was like, why is she on here? But then I remember she's got a new song with Snoop Dogg that just came out.
I happened to see that yesterday.
Okay, what's the song? The song's called
No Line.
Good Line?
No Line, right? Yeah. What's interesting, if you were to remember that Snoop and Morris Day had a song together a few years ago, and it was rumored like they was going to do a whole album. I don't know whatever came of that.
And some insider information.
Yeah.
Morris is on Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style label for a bit.
Yeah, they announced that. He had signed.
But you know what's interesting about Snoop, though? Snoop has worked with Rosie Gaines, now Sheila Morris. Like, he's just going through the Purple family like it ain't no thing.
Wow, you gave me some information. I didn't know you worked with Rosie.
Well, the thing with Rosie, it's a Bootsy Collins song.
Okay.
Bootsy's on it, Snoop Dogg's on it, and Rosie.
Interesting. Okay. And it kind of, did it sound like in the, I don't know if you caught that, where Sheila, it made it sound like they have an album coming out together, like they did a whole bunch of songs.
Yeah.
That, like that same album she was supposed to do once Prince passed away.
Stop it. No, but so I'm actually curious. I would love to hear this.
Sounds like they had a lot of fun. It was kind of interesting to see. To hear about the creative process. Yeah.
I mean, man, you've, what do they say, full disclosure. You've worked around Snoop Dogg and Pooh.
Yes.
But I would imagine it is quite the environment that he has there. What's that called? The comp? You okay back there?
The comp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get one of his 8 pills.
I hope that's what he was doing. I was like, whoa, I think that type of podcast. But anyway, you stay focused. What is it called? The compound?
It's called the compound. It's a huge complex. It has theaters. It has a huge studio. It has a basketball court. It has an area where you can host parties, all kind of stuff. It's amazing. It's
his Paisley Park, I imagine.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a lower scale Paisley Park, which is not a knock on that whatsoever, but that's just it's not as big as Paisley at all.
Back to Sheila E. What I wanted to do is, first I wanted to play a little clip, and then we would talk about it. So bear with me now.
It was interesting because I started to do the movie, and I didn't realize at the time there's this East Coast, West Coast rivalry that was happening that I got thrown into. I had no idea. I didn't know that this was going on. I know that it went on East Coast, West Coast rivalry with Latin music, with the salsa music. There's a rivalry.
I didn't
Absolutely.
know that. We were back then. It was the rivalry back then.
Oh yes.
With Run DMC and the Fat Boys and all that.
No, I mean, I'm talking
about Latin music.
I'm talking Latin music,
Latin music,
but
okay.
but hip hop as well.
Really?
Yes, because when I came in to do Krush Groove, I did Holly Rock and Love Bazaar, and those Holly Rock was written for Krush Groove. But when I came in to do it, we started filming it, and then all the New York rappers. So I'm not going to name which ones they were.
I don't think they'll be mad now.
It don't even matter. I ain't going to say their name.
All right.
All I know was they were just hating on me hard. It was really, they disrespected me so badly.
It wasn't Reverend Run, was it?
No.
No, right.
I'll say no to that.
Okay.
No, but they disrespected me so hard that I'm a person that would never quit doing anything. Mm-hmm. I actually quit the movie.
What?
I quit the movie.
I did not know that.
I quit the movie because I'm like,
what were they doing that was disrespectful?
Oh, they were dogging me. Just, who you coming in here trying to rap? Like, first of all, I was just doing a song because it was for the movie and the whole thing. I'm like, I'm not trying to be something I'm not, but I'm not claiming to be a rapper either. I'm just musically, I love music. Right. I love all kinds of music. And it was just, they were just hating hard. It was really, they were throwing shade all day. And not even just them, but the audience when we did Love Bazaar scene in the club. So Michael shows the director, he says, okay, ready? All right, go. You know, we started to play the song. At the end of the song, the audience is supposed to clap. Hey, you know, they were like this.
You are lying.
Wow.
And they just stood there like, they stared at it. It was just.
What a terrible negative experience. And when you watch that or when you hear the music, it just sounds so fun and dope. You would never think that all of that, especially for a women, went on behind the scenes.
It was horrible.
And you had nothing to do with anything.
No, I mean, Michael just, he said cut, and he turned everybody's like, excuse me, people, you are extras. We're shooting a movie. You're supposed to clap when Sheila's done. Mm-hmm. I'm like, and you just, it just got worse. It was horrible. So
did the artists apologize after that? The years after, but like, you know what? We did you dirty back then. We apologize.
No.
Damn it, man.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So there was that clip right there. I wanted to talk about what she was saying in this clip because it made me start to think of, you know, the rivalry, not the rivalry, but I guess the beef kind of that Prince had about hip hop. And I kind of wonder, does some of it start here a little bit, or is this one of the situations where it was sort of in front of him where he saw that? And, you know, as Sheila mentioned, there were hip hop artists and people there in this room during these filming. And I had heard about this type of stuff years ago. And I don't know if it was the Krush Groove. I think there's a commentary track actually on the Krush Groove DVD. And then there's also the book by Ronnie Rowe. If I'm saying his name correctly, he had a Prince book out a few years ago, Inside the Music and the Masks. And in there, he talks about the filming of Krush Groove a little bit. And I wanted to jump into that as well. But, you know, and tying it into Prince, you know, it made me think of the song Dead On It from the Black Album. And in that song, you know, he's like, you know, the rapper's problem. And he's kind of going in on hip hop and stuff. You know, pack the house, try to sing, won't be no one left.
See, the rapper's problem usually stem from being tone deaf. Pack the house and try to sing, there won't be no one left.
And, you know, comparing brothers from Minneapolis to people out there. So hearing Sheila own words about this, it made me really start to think. And also I have to remember too, when I went to go see that movie back in the day, opening night, of course, I was a huge Prince fan at the time. And I was also a huge hip hop dude, but I was running with people that were more, you know, we were all really trying to be like people from New York. You know, we idolized New York hip hop and the style and aesthetics of that. And, you know, I had to cross that with, you know, I idolized Prince and Michael and stuff. So I'm the only guy in the crew with the Jerry curl, right? With shell top Adidas. With shell top Adidas. So I was rocking both though. Okay. But I remember when it came on, when they went to the Love Bazaar part, and I, you know, and you all remember, y'all Prince fans, that song was huge, and that video came out, and of course you hear Prince on the song, right? But when you look at the video or, you know, the movie footage, it's you know, the white dude, and you're like, who the fuck?
Betty.
Yeah, like who's this cat, man? And you know,
feel free to clown.
Go ahead. Oh, you thought that was?
I thought that was Prince on the song, and then when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, damn, I was stupid for that.
Well, yeah, how old were you at that time?
I think it was 8.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah,
that's fine.
You get a pass.
We'll let you slide.
Yeah, you get a pass for that. But you know, but I remember one of my boys. He looked at me when that scene came. He said, "Oh, Mike, there go your boy." You know, but he was at it like clowning because, you know, just the whole vibe of that was a hip hop movie. The whole vibe of that was totally different, at least it's my opinion, of what, you know, the Prince thing was, you know. And it's interesting to hear that that was actually going on during the making of this movie. And let me jump into, let me read a little bit. This is from the Ronnie Rowe book. So director Michael Schultz of Cooley High fame, it's another iconic movie, started here we go. where'd he go to school at, started principal photography on May 5th and hoped to wrap by May 31st. But Sheila wasn't having an easy time of it. For one, some cast members resented her presence. They thought Krush Groove would dramatize the rise of Run DMC, but saw producers soften it with a love story and a non-rapping outsider. This is Sheila's quote. A lot of people on the set and a lot of the rappers weren't very cool, Sheila said. Neither were street-hardened extras at the Disco Fever Club in the Bronx. Sheila performed a Love Bazaar for cameras, but heard the director yell, "Cut!" Facing the crowd, Schultz said, "Look, this is a movie, and you have to clap for Sheila E. We're not sitting here critiquing her." Which is interesting, and she said this in the clip from the Breakfast Club. But I had to start to think about it. Was it, they were just hating. I actually don't see it as hating. Not in the sense of, you're not talented and blah, blah, blah. I can see this as a sense of, this is our shit. This is our time. This is hip hop staying. It's bubbling through. It's from the streets. It's not some, this is a corporate attempt to sort of capitalize on it. But, it's a new thing. Obviously, it's very much not Michael or Prince or anything that came before. This is very masculine, right? Type of energy and presence that's pushing forward. And let me also read this last little part here. It says, in Manhattan, Prince waited for Chick. This is stemming from a thing of Prince, I guess, trying to get his bodyguard Chick to come back to work for him. And so Prince is going to New York for the Krush Groove filming because Sheila E is there. So that's what that references. It says Prince reached the Manhattan Center, a theater on 34th Street, where director Schultz quickly filmed performances by Curtis Blow, the Fat Boys, Run DMC, and a young unknown Latin singer Chad and Sheila. In the dim, mostly empty balcony, Prince took a seat. With raised chin and blank regal expression, he watched Sheila take the stage in her gray outfit, her band Fiend playing instruments while she did Holly Rock, a track Prince had written aimed at the rap audience. All right. For a crowd of mostly Black and Puerto Rican extras dressed like breakdancers or rappers. They didn't seem to like Prince's bongo-heavy take on the genre, but Sheila ignored the non-reaction between takes and kept playing drums, sliding across the floor, as practice, laying on her side and pumping her hips while panting into a microphone. Once Schultz yelled cut, extras offered weak applause. Prince quickly left the building. Young LL Cool J, whose upcoming single Rock the Bells insulted him and Michael Jackson, told a reporter, quote, Prince and his boys thought we was making Sheila E Goes to Hollywood when the film was really about my homeboys Run DMC and Curtis Blow. So again, you hear, I don't know, maybe she meant LL Cool J, Sheila, when she was talking, but I'm thinking like, again, you have this whole other genre, this upcoming thing, and they want to push their agenda, their, hip hop and this. And, the other part you have to remember too, this movie came out like a year after Purple Rain. So Prince was the man at that time, period. And of course, this movie is on Warner Brothers. I would imagine they probably would have loved to have had another Prince movie, right? But that wasn't going to happen. Not like this, but they might have felt unease, and still hip hop hadn't proven to be the mainstream power juggernaut that it would become. So maybe they was like, we still have to inject, we got this Prince thing that's hot. Let's put that in there. That's maybe this is the only way we'll green light this. And again, remember, this is the story of Russell Simmons, right? But back then you're like, who the hell is Russell Simmons? Obviously, he became an iconic, does his thing, rush card. But at that time, had been a proven commodity on a mainstream level. So they interject this Prince thing. They couldn't get Prince to be a part of this, obviously, but, we can get Sheila E. And also, it's very telling. I'm going to put this picture on the screen for YouTube people. There's a picture shot from the movie, and it was the scene where Sheila was in her room or apartment or whatever, and Run and them was there, and they're kind of like playing around, freestyling a little bit with the music, and they're kind of playing the chords, I think, of Love Bazaar or something. But if you
Holly Rock.
But if you look at the wall, remember there was that picture of Prince, 1999 type poster in the background. And actually on the other side, there's the picture of the Ice Cream Castles album. So
no, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
I had neither at the time, but there's so much. And if you think about it, it's like, it's a lot of, his presence was very much in that movie. Obviously, Sheila is the Prince sort of presence in that movie. And I think there was even a line from Run's dad where he is sort of like chastising Run, like, you ain't Prince or Michael Jackson.
Now you a lot of Richie?
Yeah.
And you're a Prince? And here comes Barry Gordon.
Yeah, there you go. That's a classic movie. But you can see, like, rap wasn't seen as, today you'd be like, why wouldn't you have a hip hop type of thing? But I think with that in mind, I could see how the actual people in that movement could have took offense that, why we got to have him in here? Why they got, that ain't rap. That ain't from the streets. I'm sure everyone salute to Prince. Of course, we know who Prince is. He's a bad motherfucker, but this our shit. And I could kind of see that point. It would be to me, and I was saying this in the Discord, it would be like if they had Purple Rain and they was like, we don't know if this is going to work. Let's put LaToya Jackson in here because Michael's the man. And we know if we got any ties to Jackson in here, people going to go see it. We would have been like, what the hell?
Yeah, especially if LaToya would have got up there and did Private Joy.
Hysterical. It would have been trash. But then they had Michael's poster in the background, some ominous looking. You'd be like, this ain't. This ain't.
Well, there's actually another Prince poster in Sheila's apartment in that movie. It's when she slaps Run, and then she goes to try to put on those funky little pink socks. There's a picture from the centerfold of the Purple Rain tour book with that rainbow color looking outfit that he has.
Okay.
It's like that picture's up there too.
Interesting. Yeah. So, and so I just thought, the fact that Prince saw this firsthand during the making that, wow, the audience, they ain't feeling it. Like, okay, New York, that's how you rappers want to come. Bet. I got something for you, monkey ass. So, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Ampu.
Yeah, as I was listening to the show, like one, I didn't think that it really went that far back. This East Coast West Coast thing. I kind of see it on the somewhat, because they're in the heart of where hip hop started. So, and she is doing a supposed hip hop song with Holly Rock. So I could kind of feel them on that. Like, dang, that ain't rap. That ain't what we know. Where's Roxanne Shante? Where's Salt and Pepper? How you got this pretender? But I'm like, I get that one. But Love Bazaar? That slaps. Seriously.
But you gotta remember, they had never heard. It was probably the first time those extras had heard the song. So it's probably like, what is this?
Mike, stop it.
Nah, man. I'm just saying. If you was a hip hop head,
it's real.
No, I'm saying if you was a hip hop head though, and you wasn't necessarily, and you was, where's Run DMC? And they played that, and you thought this was a rap movie. And again, they don't know the script, so they probably had no idea. Like, why are we gonna clap for that? And again, I would equate it that, and that's the thing about how some of us ain't gonna be faking.
But
and they was like, I ain't feeling this shit. Y'all, this is a job. Stop it. Y'all supposed to clap now. So you know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm just saying. The first time I heard Love Bazaar, and I was on Run DMC and all that, in the world I was going. I'm sorry, I cannot front that song ain't.
I'm not saying.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not good. It's a banger. I'm just saying, like, in the context of how they heard it and what their expectations were. Maybe. You could see how they was like, who? They might have been like, who is this?
I guess
they may have heard of Glamorous Life. They may have heard of Glamorous Life. It was a big hit, right? That was a big hit. But in all actuality, did she have a second big follow-up that they, you know what I mean? Like they may have been like, again, that's what I'm saying. If it was Purple Rain and you heard a slamming track by, who else? Who would have been the equivalent
Springsteen?
No, it would have been, still would have been an artist somewhat related to musically, but it would have been a totally different genre. You'd have been like,
like think about it, like if it was a family, and they came up with Screams of Passion, and that was in Krush Groove.
Well, yeah, but I was saying if you went from the Purple Rain route and it was some other artist, like I'm trying to think of who you could think of, like if it was
Bangles.
Well, if it was shit, man,
Apollonia 6.
Well, no, it couldn't be the same type of thing. It would be, so if you were expecting to see Vanity, Prince, and they're filming Purple Rain, but they brought in New Edition.
Maserati.
Well, no. I'm saying it couldn't be somebody from the same camp. I'm saying if they brought in something, if they brought in New Edition and they was standing on, okay, it was, ladies and gentlemen, New Edition. They'd be like, you guys are supposed to clap for these guys. Stop.
It's funny you say that because New Edition is in Krush Groove. And
I know.
Did they get that flack? Or like when the Beastie Boys came up there and did their song?
Well, we don't know that. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know. That's right. You can't go by the movie. We have no idea.
Right.
But you could understand why maybe they did get that flack and they was probably like, why are they in this?
Well, I totally get it too, because if you look at when Sheila's on stage doing A Love Bazaar in the Disco Fever, look at all those names that are behind her. It's Run, it's Curtis, it's L, though they misspelled his name, but whatever, right? And then you have some type of a singer that's up there doing some type of funk. Yeah, I could totally see the flack. I could see it.
I mean, it wasn't fake. Whether we agree with it or not, the people reacted how they acted, and that was an organic thing. It wasn't like it was some stage type of thing. I'm just saying, in certain audiences, they're gonna give you the courtesy clap. Most of the time, I don't know about nowadays, maybe different, but pure hip hop type of thing back then, if it wasn't dope, hey man, and this is New York, so hey man,
yeah. Listen, imagine if they filmed that at the Apollo.
Exactly. Yeah, they would have been like,
damn man, would have came out there. Hey, get out of here with that shit.
I don't care who you is. Like, yeah, you look cute. but you know, so I'm just saying, like, I'm curious if that sort of breeds into it. But I wanted to get your take, Morpheus. What are your thoughts?
Well, being from New York in the 80s, what she says about the whole like East Coast, West Coast thing, that really didn't happen out here until NWA hit.
Right.
You know, then it really was like the East Coast, West Coast. So she might be a little bit off, but that's cool.
I wonder if she really meant they just wasn't feeling you.
It possibly could be because if you really think about it, Mike, you said it too. At that time, Sheila only had the glamorous life. It did puzzle me why all of a sudden she's in a movie after one album. Boom. And like, you know, when you see the first credits of the movie, what does it say? Starring Sheila E. Excuse me? All right, cool. You know, but you know, it must be a hectic thing, but I will say this. Sheila kind of got the last laugh because the Manhattan Center is right across the street from Madison Square Garden. Sheila has played Madison Square Garden. As far as I know, none of those rappers in that movie has ever done the Garden. Maybe Run has.
Let's slow down.
I'm
pretty sure Cool J.
For the show. Right, Run did. By DMC.
I bet I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
I mean, I could, as I go back and look back of like when I was a 15-year-old watching Krush Groove, me and my cousin going to go see Krush Groove. Like, yeah, we were all there for Sheila and Run, a little bit of the Fat Boys, a little bit of Curtis Blow, but it was mainly about Sheila and Run for me and him, right? So if you look back at the movie, even like when she started to do Holly Rock, I was like, kind of funky, but it's not even hitting me yet.
Right.
You know? So I totally get that with like you playing that song for extras or whatever like that, and they hearing that and they're like, huh? Yeah, all right, get off the stage, bring out Run. You know, I totally get that.
And this is not in. I already know. I see you. Yeah, I see y'all in the comments. Oh, y'all not real fans. And then this is not. I salute Sheila. Sheila is dope, ridiculous, one of the illest, best to ever do it. I'm just saying.
I happened to hop on stage with her.
Oh, there you go. So, but I'm just saying in the context of that movie and what the words coming out of Sheila's mouth, her experiences. I'm just trying to say I can see how that may have happened during that. It's not a knock on her talents or those songs. Love Bazaar I thought was ridiculous. That was so dope. Holly Rock at the time, I was kind of like you, Morpheus. I liked it because I was a Prince fan. I knew what they was doing with it. But I wasn't in my feelings that my buddies sort of laughed at that. And because I could understand why they would. I was like, she's trying to do a rap thing. That ain't her, but I get it. So I was like, hey, let it hurry up and be over so we can go on to the next. You know, I was just like, she looked good though. You know, that's funny because you brought up a good point. You know, how did she become a star in a movie like that with just one album? Well, obviously, it's, you know, she's on Warner Brothers. Yes. She's associated with Prince. They want to keep that rolling. Yeah, let's put her in the movie then. You know, and it was a good look for her. I thought she looked great in that movie, and her parts were cool.
Go ahead and say the Billy line, Mike.
Say the who?
The Billy line. Go ahead and say.
Oh, this is a business. But at the same point, looking at it years later, at the time I didn't get it, but years later, I was like, I had to remind myself, you know what, this is actually supposed to be the story of like Def Jam and Russell. You know what I mean? And look how it sort of got so like convoluted and all over the place. But I could understand it was so early. You know, looking back at it now, they would never do that to a hip hop movie. Now they would never have a biopic about like Death Row or something and inject, you know,
is that the reason why
they would not inject TLC subplot into that because we want to make it mainstream or something? They'd be like,
well, is that the reason why Sheila wasn't in Straight Outta Compton?
Hilarious. Well, she wasn't in there for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I mean, it's the same type of thing. But back then, yeah. But again, it would have been the same thing. It's very interesting if you look at Purple Rain, though. I guess they tried to do that with Purple Rain, right? If some of the stories they wanted to get John Travolta to play the kid. Like, we don't know if this Prince thing gonna work, but we can get John Travolta in here. He just had Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night Fever, blah 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 blah. Grease, get him in there. So I mean, I guess they tried to do the same thing. that would have been some old bullshit. Now that would have been something else.
What part could have John played as a kid?
The kid, man. I guess that would be wild. Let Prince do the music and have him be the face of it. That's the old trick, though. That'd have been a cold movie. Ooh, that would have been a cold.
Kind of like in Showgirls, that part. My man was like, "Yo, I wrote this song for you," and it's with Pop Go to Zipper, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Wow. Stop it.
We're going all over the place, but now it would be interesting if they released the movie. I'll Do Anything with Prince's music, like the musical version of that movie, how it was supposed to have, you know, how it was originally filmed, but I guess they edited out all the musical numbers, right?
In my collection, there's the actual vocals from the actors singing those songs.
Yeah, horrible.
You don't want that.
But I'm curious now. I'm sure there's somebody at the estate or somebody who's, you know, there's one of those persons that's in the company that's all about their bread, and it's probably like, oh, we could drop this special edition.
Talk about an original.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, Originals Volume 6, the movie cuts.
Yeah, I'll do anything sessions. Here's Nick Nolte.
Yeah, Nick Nolte sings Prince. Let's get this back. Now, some of y'all is like, what the hell are they talking about? Go look up. There was a movie called I'll Do Anything starring Nick Nolte. The original take on that movie was it's going to be a musical where Prince did all the music.
Well, he did some of the songs.
Some of the songs. There are those songs exist out there, unreleased world and various takes.
And then there's a few of them songs that wound up on the Vault Old Friends for Sale album.
Yes. So be ready for that. Yeah, Originals Volume 7. They had that. They'll probably have. What they're probably gonna get that one Ray Charles. What was that? Was it Pepsi or what? What drink was that? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Coke.
Yeah.
No, it was Pepsi.
Was it Pepsi?
No.
You got the
Pepsi, yeah.
You got the right one or something.
You got the right one, baby.
Let them drop that. The Ray Charles Prince duet album. I'm stopped from giving them ideas.
Hey.
Oh, like we were